Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Manifest Tarot. I'm so happy you're here. Today we are doing a peek into March. It's a your month ahead reading, and we are ready to look at March. It's coming up in just a few days. So I've already set out 3 piles. And for each of the 3 piles, I have already picked out a crystal as well. So this is the After Tarot, and I picked this Amazonite heart. And then this is the Mystical Moments Tarot, and this, to go with that, I picked this Rose Quartz heart. And then this tarot deck doesn't have a name that I know of, but its artist is Los Garebo. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And for that, I don't know why I didn't notice it matches my nail polish. With this one, I have picked this red carnelian heart. It is very friendly with my nail polish. All right, so take as much time as you need to make your choice, and I will, of course, leave the timestamps below, and I will see you in your reading. Yay, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You picked this After Tarot deck and this gorgeous Amazonite heart. It's such a gorgeous crystal. And I will put this up here with these beach stones that I have selected over several walks on the beach. I've spent a lot of time, I have to say, picking these stones, these rocks, so that we can, they're just so beautiful and so peaceful, and I love these muted colors here, and I feel like they bring this beautiful energy when I set them out. So actually, I'm going to pull some oracle cards. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and I have a couple oracle decks. There's this one. I'm going to pick some cards from this one for us. We need some insight into pile number 1's March. Actually, this one right next to it wanted to come out as well. And I think that's it for right now for this deck. And then I have these 2 sets of tea leaves. So let's see what wants to come out for the tea leaves. Let's wake up the deck. Oh, you know what? This wanted to be seen by... I think this wanted to come out, this bottom one. So cute. Hat. You will be playing a different role. You'll be wearing a different hat. This one wanted to come out for you, pile number 1. Oh gosh. These 2. And one of them. I'm saying oh gosh because we're doing a month of the year reading, and this month of the year card wanted to come out as well. So let's take at least one from this deck. That... All right. So 2 want to come out, this astral deck, and then this one. There we go. All right, what do we have here for the oracle cards? So we already know this one. So this one, you will be playing a different role. This seems to be important, so I'm going to put this up here for now. And oh my gosh, there's something, I don't know if you've seen the beach, you know, the beach stones that I have picked up and the card together make me think of this story I've seen where there sea anemones in, you know, like in the ocean, they will pick up shells, discarded shells that other creatures have left behind as they, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, and they will wear them. They will, the anemones will wear the shells as protection. Well, they were in a tank, and this person or these people decided to, very funnily, 3D print some little hats, and they put them in the tank, and the sea anemones wear them. So there's pictures of the sea anemones wearing, you know, little tiny cowboy hat, 3D printed cowboy hat, a 3D printed Viking hat, a 3D printed, I think it was a top hat, and there was one other hat, I don't remember, but I mean, it is the cutest thing, and I don't know. So it's the cutest thing. So if you want like to see one of the cutest things that you'll likely see today, at least, look it up, anemones wearing 3D printed hats, and I'm sure you'll come across the photos. But the story makes me think that you really are going to kind of stumble into it, because the anemones didn't go out seeking these new hats to wear. They were just presented with them. So there seems to be some sort of new opportunity just being presented to you, like as if it's floating down from on high, like this unknown entity from on high is presenting you with this new hat to wear, aka this new role. That's what it might feel like, because you might have been manifesting for something or really wanting something for a long time, and it might be just showing up, and you might have had 101 different ideas of how what you wanted was going to come about. You're like, well, it might happen this way, or this person might do something to help you, to help me. This is you saying, this is you thinking, or, you know, I might have to go and go all the way to this place to get this done, to have that happen. And then none of that was real. It just came to you and for you. So there's a lot packed into this hat card, obviously. So let's look at this first card, this Pure Nature card. This also has come up several times lately. I think this is the third time that this particular card has come up in recent readings. And it's always like this, where a certain card will come up, it will emerge from the pack and continue to emerge several times, and then it will submerge again. And so obviously that means that someone or several of you have needed and are still needing to see the messages from these certain cards. So what is the second one? This is the Art of Seduction. Oh yes, this is card number 14. And then this card is 7. So 7 is obviously 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. This is such a beautiful card. Maybe she is in this flower. All right, so I'm going to move this over here. And let us see what we have. Scales, keep your life in balance. That might be related to this hat, because remember, with the story of the anemones, these hats just floated down from these, from the air. The anemones are in the water, and the hats are out of the medium. They're outside the medium that these anemones know. They're outside the entire world that the anemones know, okay? So what is it that these hats appear from the anemone's point of view, from somewhere unknown? The hats are from the unknown. And so for you, pile number 1, again, there's going to be things coming in from the unknown to you. And so what this card is saying is, you just keep your life in balance. You just keep doing you. You do you, pile number 1, and the opportunities will come to you from the unknown. All right, oh, I'm so curious, this month of the year, August. Again, this card has come out lately. This just makes me think of the hot, dusky days of August with the birds and the cicadas and the grasshoppers just all singing, and just these sultry days. Astral House card, love. Just straight up love. Very fortunate. I don't think you'll be able to see that up there. I'm guess love is going to hang out with August here. And then our last oracle card is this funnel, period of frustration, lessons to be learned. But again, funnels, a funnel does not mean this to me. It really is the opposite of this to me. A funnel, this is, I like funnels. They're good. They're useful, and they're very, so I'm not sure if this interpretation of it is going to be true for you. I just don't know. Well, still not fitting up here. Here we go. All right, so here's your deck. Let us wake it up and ask this deck for several cards for your reading. Here's 1. Here's 2. 3. Let's shuffle it again. Actually, this one wants to come out. Let's shuffle it again and take a couple more. I know this. The order wanted to be maintained like that. And let's see what the spirit card is here. There's a Chariot. There's a lot of cards for you, pile number 1. Let's see what they have to say for us. The first card is the 4 of Swords. And you know how a sword, to be good, to be a good fighting weapon, a sword has to be perfectly balanced. And what do we have here? Keep your life in balance. What is this person doing, it seems like? Keeping their life in balance. Right now, 4 perfectly balanced swords. Oh, and actually, let me give you a closer look at this Chariot card. Here's your Spirit card. All right, let's see what we have here. Queen of Pentacles. Look at how fast this bunny is going. Oh, look, she's admiring herself in the pentacle. Her reflection. All right. Oh, and she also has a rose bower above her. Meaning just like these cards. And on first glance, I thought these were roses. I know that they're hearts, though. Oh, but this card has roses on, this whole deck has roses on the top, so lots of roses here for you. So let's see, the Knight of Wands. The fastest knight in the deck, pile number 1. Look at all the sand on the Sphinx. Very interesting. The Lover's card. Can you see that? I think you can see it enough. Let's see what else we have. The Sun card. So you have 2 cards where the sun is just so prevalent. You have this one, and you also have the August card. So there must be something big in the summer. I mean, obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere, this August is the summer. But you might be in the middle of summer right now if you're in the southern hemisphere. So interesting. This is the 9 of Cups. Very awesome cards to have together. Wow, pile number 1. I was just, you have to believe me. You're gonna have to believe me. I was just thinking, before I turn this over, I was thinking, okay, so they have, you know, they meaning you, pile number 1, you have the Love card, you have this Lover's card, you have the Sun card, you have the 9 of Cups. I wonder if this is a love reading. And then, you know, they have this Art of Seduction as well. And then this came up. This, pile number 1, this is the Romantic Love card. And this Lover's card can, or, you know, sometimes symbolizes relationship. But this card always is like this deep love relationship. The kind of love relationship that people want, like people yearn for that kind of relationship, if you understand what I'm saying. So this is a very favorable reading for you. And I really definitely feel like this funnel is exactly opposite from this interpretation. I feel like events are funneling down into this crux point, which a crux point is not in a funnel, so that's into this point where what you've wanted, what you've been manifesting, comes into existence in your particular 3D, pile number 1. So, pretty clear-cut reading for you, pile number 1. You have the Knight of Wands and you have the Chariot. Fast movement with purpose, just moving forward and knowing, with a knowing, and it doesn't have to be you. There's like some outside force. And yes, if you're a conscious manifester, you, pile number 1, have been like calling into being this situation and calling into being this person to show up like this. But that still doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy this to its fullest when this shows up. This Knight of Wands and this Chariot and this, I just, look at them. This reading is so clear cut that I'm not really sure. I guess I'm just gonna have to tell you, okay, so I'm just gonna go through it and it's gonna be kind of a short reading, is what I'm saying. So right now, pile number 1, you might feel this sort of stagnation, but it is not stagnation. This is you having this moment to step into complete and perfect balance within yourself. So if you notice in this card here, she has come to see him, but he, I mean, of course, this is not, we're going to go metaphorically here. He is, he's not, I mean, of course, this is just an effigy. I don't know if this is a real effigy, but it's, you know, it's a carving of someone. But this is, let's just say he's real, but he's sleeping. He's meditating. He's laying there for a purpose. He's not just laying there just to lay there. He's laying there for a purpose. He's perfectly balanced, just like his 4 swords. They're all perfectly balanced. That means that they are the best weapons, that they are the highest class of weapons. And then she is there, but he does not, she might be the love of his life, but he is not even letting her presence deter him from being in perfect balance, finding the balance within himself to bring his life in perfect balance. He is utterly focused on himself. And what does that lesson, what is the lesson here for us? That means you, pile number 1, do not be afraid to utterly concentrate every bit of yourself on yourself. I know that sometimes if you are manifesting love, it might be really, tempting, I'll just say, to concentrate on the other person, on the person that you want. But this lesson is just this message for you, pile number 1, is saying you concentrate on yourself and don't even let their presence deter you. Obviously, if they show up, then obviously you're not, it's not like, go away. But even if, no matter what shows up in your 3D, you stay balanced. Don't react. Don't react to the 3D because it is so fleeting right now. Anything that's not your full manifestation is so fleeting right now that you might as well not be experiencing it, if you understand me. We have this funnel, which is also giving us the same message. I already kind of said it. You are at this point where you've been pouring the sugar into the funnel. You've been pouring this whole 5-pound bag of granulated sugar into the funnel, and you've been filling up this giant container. And at first you're thinking, oh my God, this is going to take forever. This little funnel neck thing is so tiny, and I'm having to have to pour this forever, and some of the little granules like escape, and they're going around on the counter, and you're all frustrated. See, there is frustration coming in, and you're pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, but you have to pour slowly, and slowly this big container starts filling up slowly. And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, okay, so it seems to take forever, but all of a sudden, you're done. All of a sudden, you reach this point where the last little granules are going through this part, this neck, and into the container, and you are done. And that's just where you are, or you are going to be so soon. And we have that feeling of leaping forward. I mean, look at this knight. As I said, when I pulled this card, this is the fastest knight in the deck. Forward movement is almost a misnomer. It's like leaping forward, bounding way over an obstacle. there's something between this knight and their goal, and instead of running around it, instead of like kind of sidling past it, instead of taking this big detour, they just take this giant leap over it, and then they're at the finish line. And look at the intent here. Look at the focus with which this charioteer is staring. And look at, oh, when you have two sphinxes, obviously, or three, you have three sphinxes. You have two cards with sphinxes. And so this is even more tying these two messages together. The intent with which the sphinxes and this charioteer are staring forward. That is your reminder to completely focus, pile number one, on your end goal. And it does not matter. Right now does not matter. Keep yourself from looking at anything that you don't want that's going on. For many of you, this thing that you're manifesting is love. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Look at this. I mean, look at how these sultry nights of August with all of the, or days, why am I saying nights? The sultry days of August, because this is the sun, this is the sunlight, this is the sun, I mean, and then you have the sun card. So you have this like magical, warm time coming up for yourself. And are you an outdoorsy person? Pile number one. It doesn't matter. If you are an outdoorsy person, then you are going to be having some great times outdoors. If you're not an outdoorsy person, you're going to be having some great times. Maybe you're going to get flowers. Maybe you're a bouquet. Maybe you're going to enjoy looking outside. Maybe you're going to enjoy just like a garden party. You know, maybe you're going to enjoy something. There's something in your life that's really taking, like, not necessarily, I don't want to say necessarily bridging a gap, but it is coming to you. Like there's you, and then there's this magical, wonderful, warm, beautiful thing that has to do with something in the natural world. Even if it's just a bouquet of flowers, there's just something with warmth and love and beauty and great times and friendship and love. It's a beautiful, and I don't want to say moment. There is going to be a very gorgeous moment, but that moment will not be fleeting. It's a time in your life. It is an epoch of your life. And remember this hat, this whole hat, this whole hat conversation that I just had with you. It will seem to both be inevitable and yet come down from the unknown to appear. And what that you do not and have not and will not need to go out and search for it, go out and seek it out, go out and do things. Because remember, your advice here is to just keep your life in balance. And that means being inured to the 3D when it is not what you want. And it's kind of funny because right next to this Four of Swords, we have this Queen of Pentacles. But what is she doing right here? She's surrounded by beauty. She's surrounded by this bower of roses. She's surrounded by this beautiful river. She's surrounded by wildflowers, and that might even be little wild strawberries, I don't know, little wild berries, the beautiful turf. It probably smells great there. She has mountains in the distance, but bunnies gambling around. But what is she looking at? She's looking at herself. She's focused on herself. And that is great because she's not just focused on herself as as a person. She's not just focused on herself so that she can just stare at herself. She's focused on herself just in the way that this figure is focused on himself, to block out anything that she does not like and that she does not want. And it might look idyllic, but we don't know, like right there might be a little garbage dump. Right there might be like some wild animal's poop or something. I don't know. What she's doing is, I hope you're still with me here. What she's doing is concentrating on herself and concentrating on what she does want, so that this stuff that she doesn't want goes away. I know that you are understanding this because these messages are so clear. So we have these 4 cards, and if I move this Lover's card over here, it bridges the gap, but then again, it's not next to, it's like you've got this Love card, you've got this Lover's card, you've got this 2 of Cups card, you've got this 9 of Cups card, you've got the Sun card, you've got August, you've got the Art of Seduction. This reading is so love heavy, pile number 1, that I'm not sure how much more I can say other than to tell you that there's significant movement. I'm not sure whether this is with somebody who you've known for a long time and maybe have a relationship with right now, or maybe in the past, or if it's someone new. I don't know. I just know that this is going to be a significant and also a beautiful, let me repeat that again, beautiful progression. And it's going to be quick and surging forward, and it's going to surprise you, just like the anemones were surprised by these little 3D printed hats. They are so, I mean, this whole reading is like, I can't describe it better than this whole reading is telling you, pile number 1, that everything is coming together. And which is so funny, because this funnel card, which has this period of frustration, lessons to be learned, it's exactly opposite from this interpretation of it, because everything is coming together the way a funnel funnels things together to make something absolutely wonderful, pile number 1. So beautiful that you just are so fulfilled and so happy, and it's just beautiful. There's nothing else to say, pile number 1, except it's just beautiful. And your March is just filled with beauty and warmth and light and love. And it's all because you have kept yourself in balance. And if you're a conscious manifester, that means you know that means you're closing your eyes to the 3D and going within, and with whatever techniques you use, you are balancing your mind by focusing on the end, and it comes to you in a way that's so magical. Did I even mention that this 9 of Cups is a wish fulfillment card, and that the Sun card I mean, so favorable, so many beautiful cards, so many beautiful sentiments, so much wonderful everything for you. And it's a magical reading, and I am so happy for you because you can't really get better than this. Point blank. And, you know, this August card, this might mean that the full fruition of it doesn't come until August. This might mean that from March until August is like this beautiful time in your life that just where everything is coming together very fast. And it might mean that this period might start in August. And for right now, you're just going to be keeping yourself balanced. I don't know, but it also could mean, because we have the Sun card, it also could just mean, it could have come out for that, this August card could have come out for just that feeling of the sunlight on your skin, being warm, being comforted, being just so like everything is right with your world. Because it is. This is a beautiful reading, and I'm so happy that you were here and that I was able to share this beautiful reading with you, and I'm so pleased for you, and I'm so happy for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for all your likes, your comments, and your shares. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe so that you don't miss any future readings. Thank you so much, and I know I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose this deck and this rose quartz heart. I mean, look at the depth of this. When you're looking at it from this, doesn't it look like it just goes on forever? It's so beautiful. Here we go. Always with the beautiful, with the crystals. I'm putting that over there with these beach rocks that I've picked for us, and I'm going to put this aside for a bit while I pick our oracle cards. So here's, firstly, I'm going to pick some oracle cards from this deck, so let's wake it up. We want some oracle cards for pile number 2 for March. Oh, I see all 3 of them. Oop. There we go. Here's 3. And then I have some tea leaves that we're going to pull. I've got these 2 piles. It just makes it easier. They're so squirrely, these they're so squirrely, and they are funny to handle in one big mass. So we've got a month of the year. All right, let's see. Let's get at least one. Oh, looks like we got these 2. We got 5 tea leaves and 3 oracle cards. We are ready to find out what is happening. What are your themes for March? What is going on for you, pile number 2? Your first card is Flower Spirit. I love this card. You know what the nice thing is about this card is she's so relaxed, and she's just so content and happy. She's right where she wants to be. And she's also floating. She has these tiny, tiny little wings that don't necessarily look like they should be able to keep her aloft. So she has to be magic. Basically, my point is she has to be magic because she can't be keeping herself aloft with those wings, and her, body, her body size as opposed to her wing size is just not keeping her aloft. So she's also got some hidden magic. So that's nice. All right, let's put that here. You can see that, right? All right, what's the next one? Morning Dew Girl. And my question is always, is she hanging the dew? drops or is she collecting them? That can be your decision. I love her dewdrop earrings, I have to say. Love this card. Put that here. And then what is the third one? Moon Dance. Oops, I forgot to tell you the numbers. So this is card number 4, Moon Dance. And then the Flower Spirit card is number 10, and the Morning Dew Girl is number 13. I'm so curious, what's this month of the year? December. So, obviously I'm reading this in February, and March is just around the corner, so this reading is about March. And so I'm wondering if this is about the December that just passed, and you're maybe still dealing with something that happened in January, good or bad, December, or good or bad. It doesn't have to be like dealing with in a bad way, just, the repercussions of something that happened in December might be still carrying forward, or we might be looking at December coming up, or, later this year, or we might be looking at just the winter, which we're still in right now. We're still in winter. So the season of winter in the Northern Hemisphere, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, the winter coming up. So there's a few interpretations of this, so that's interesting. So let's see. Fair man, dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. Fair man could also be like a just person. Wow, we have a lot of oracle cards here. So let's see what this is. Oh my gosh, we still have 3. We're gonna have so many oracle cards. Younger man. Wow, younger man. Dealings or relationship with a younger man. I wonder if this is the same person. I'm gonna have to put it right next to this one. I wonder if it's the same person or if it's 2 men. You might have 2 men in your life, if you like that sort of thing. If not, they'd just be men that aren't aren't romantic. But wow, pile number 2, nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. What interesting cards you're getting. So here's this, and then we have one spot for this one, which is table, hard work ahead. I just have to say, sorry, but what a weird interpretation of table. Hard work ahead. All right, so the table is there, but I'm not sure about this. I'm just not sure. We'll have to see what the reading says, but table is very important. There's a lot of connotations that the concept of table has for me, but hard work ahead is not one of them. So we'll see what the tarot cards say and see if the table card is if we interpret the table card differently because of what our tarot cards say. So let's wake up this deck, and we're going to shuffle the cards. I know I anthropomorphize the decks a little bit. I do. I have to wake them up. I have to ask them questions. That's just the way I roll. Whoops. I can't lose this one. This one. It's coming out. Then this one. Let's see. I'm going to pull a few more. Pulling a few more. And this one. That's enough for now. I'm obviously going to put this aside in case we want it again. All right. Here we go. Pile number 2. Here's the cards for your March. The 5 of Wands. Once again, it's so interesting because this card came up in another reading so recently. And it's exactly the way I was saying to pile number 1. It's not as if it is, this is the way things happen. Certain cards like this 5 of Wands, they emerge from the pack. They show themselves several times and they submerge back down and they don't come out for a while. So that means that the messages that these cards, these particular cards have are important, and they are keep coming up and then they go back down. So very interesting. Death card. She's so happy to be in the embrace of this snake. And it looks like she's in a, oh, obviously, she's in a chrysalis. She is transforming into a winged creature, some huge transformation. Some huge transformation, pile number 2. Very, very, very interesting. Hold on. These cards are getting a little out of control here. So here's your third card, the Devil. Wow, what a nice juxtaposition. The Devil and the Death card. This is also another card from this particular deck that just came out. And as I said before, when this card first came out I think last week, this Devil is, you know what? I know I am going to say this, but I want to get the rest of the cards out. I don't want to start the reading until I have the rest of the cards out because it might add to things here. So we have the Fates. You are getting major arcana after major arcana after major arcana. Oh, this is the Wheel of Fortune. This deck calls the Wheel of Fortune the Fates. I love this crown and full moon. We're just after the full moon. This full moon is the snow. This full moon that just happened a couple days ago was called the snow full moon. I'm going to put this deck here. Was called the snow full moon. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Wow, and you know where this is ending up? Right next to the younger man and the fair man. So this energy seems to be this nexus of either one man or several men in your life. And it looks like some massive energy coming into you, to your life, from either this connection if it's one man, or these connections if it's several men. Because obviously it could be one man who has all of these attributes. It could be, you know, a combination where it's two men, you know, one having 2 attributes, or it could be 3. So lots of masculine energy. The Chariot, you're continuing along with your massive amounts of major arcana here, pile number 2. The Chariot. The Four of Cups, very interesting. The Ennui card. All right, so we have fewer cards than I thought. I'm going to pull one more to round out our... It's this one. All right, pull that one. And then of course we'll keep it here so that in case we need more cards. So what is this one? The Ace of Swords, New Beginning, obviously, because we have this Death card. Obviously there's a new beginning, because what comes with an ending is new beginning. What strong, beautiful cards you have. Pile number 2, it is just extremely clear, and the power emanating from these cards is almost unreal. I mean, look at all the major arcana you have. So I think I'm going to take this in order, because for now, I'm going to start with the 5 of Wands here. And there is something that the interpretation of this card, this particular Five of Wands, is a little bit different than a usual Five of Wands that, from the previous interpretation. And I'm going to stay with it because it seems like this wanted to come out again, maybe to reiterate for those of you that saw the last pile, but maybe for those of you that didn't, there's still the same message coming out for you, in that there's the partial transformation and the full transformation. And you have a choice, pile number 2. You, pile number 2, want to transform something in your life. You want a full transformation. You want a full change. What is it? What is this topic? Is it abundance? Is it career? Is it family? Is it friendships? Is it love? Is it living situation? Whatever it is, some huge part of your life. I mean, a fundamental part, because these are powerful, powerful, powerful cards here. You got so many major arcana and major arcana, if you understand what I mean, like the really consequential, transformative major arcana are here. A lot of them, a lot of those fundamental change cards. And you want this transformation to happen in your life, in your 3D, and you're working toward it, but what needs to change first is not the 3D, it's you. So what this card is showing you, that you can either be like this figure on the left. She has transformed herself. She's broken off her hand and she set it afire. Obviously, these are not real people. And she is transforming that part of herself. But she has not truly, she's done a superficial change. She has not truly transformed herself, though, because look at her, she's still dissatisfied. She's still looking outside of herself and seeing what she doesn't like and trying to change the 3D. She's changed part of herself. It might be a drastic change, but it's not a fundamental change. Whereas this person, the figure on the right, she has changed her entire head. Like, this is her head. She has changed fundamentally her thoughts. She has fundamentally changed her self-concept. She has fundamentally changed her self as it relates to this subject that she wants change in. Whether it is, as I said, abundance, career, family, love, whatever it is, any of these major fundamental things, she has changed herself, and she is not looking to the 3D. She is taking responsibility and only concerned with herself. So who do you think is going to have major shifts? Who do you think this story, the rest of the story, is about? It is not about this figure on the left, because she hasn't truly changed her thoughts. It's about the figure on the right. This figure on the right, this figure, is the one whose story we are exploring. And so how do you do this? Pile number 2, you change your concept of yourself as it relates to the outside world, about this topic. So let me give you an example. Say that you are wanting to have a fundamental change in your friendships. Just as an example, friendships. You are a person who does this. Let's say you're this morning dew girl. you want your job of let's say she's harvesting these. I'm gonna say she's harvesting these dewdrops. And every day she goes out and she does it alone. And she and all the other morning dew girls go out alone, and they harvest the dewdrops alone, and she doesn't like to be alone. She wants to do it she wants a friend group of morning dew girls that are all gathering the dew together. She wants it to be like this beautiful thing that happens, not just this somber alone time. What is she going to do? Is she going to go running around asking, will you go out? Will you do this with me? Can we do this together? No, she's going to go within. She's going to imagine. Well, you can do it a couple of ways. You can visualize doing it with a friend group of dew girls, or you can just tell yourself, conceive of yourself as the person who has this group of friends that you all do it together. You tell yourself, I am this person now. I am the person who everyone wants to do this with. I am now the person who everyone else wants to be with. I am now the person that everyone calls. Like there's this giant chat of on our message board. There's a whole chat of all of these morning dew girls, and they're all wanting to be friends with me, and they're all asking if we can go out together and collect the dew all together tomorrow. That's a random way to say it, but what this person on the right has done is she has fundamentally changed her concept of herself so that she is now the woman that is sought after. And she is not looking out at the 3D for confirmation like the person on the left. She is the confirmation. The person on the right is the confirmation. Inside of herself, she is the confirmation that she is now who she wants to be. And of course, this death card is the natural progression of this Five of Wands. This Five of Wands and then this death card are so natural and so like a complete little story here within your larger March story. There is a huge transformation. You are already in the midst of it, pile number 2, and all you have to decide now is how far you're going to take it. You're in the middle of this transformation. You've chosen to be the figure on the right, and your only choice is how far you want to take your transformation, how far you want to go in radically transforming yourself, pile number 2. It's your choice. Then we come to this Devil card, and I'm seeing this Devil energy as part of this nexus of masculine energy that you have going on. It's a really strong, I'm not even going to say undercurrent in this reading. It is kind of an overcurrent. I know it's not a thing, but it's a really strong current in your reading. So we have the younger man, we have the fair man, we have the King of Pentacles, and we have the Devil. And are these 4 different men? Are they 3, 2, or 1 man with a combination of these traits? It's obviously, you're going to find out, and very soon, because this is a reading for March, right? But what do we have here with this Devil card? She is happy. This is looks like the sweetest love relationship. The devil is not just having to resist temptation. The devil card is also enjoying sensual pleasures, enjoying sensual pleasures, and sensual pleasures are anything sensually pleasurable. Like eating is a sensual pleasure. Going out in the sunshine and having that warmth on your skin, that's also a sensual pleasure. The devil, and in this instance, with all of these cards here, there's a strong message of like a change, a change in how you see yourself and how you see the man or men in your life. Let me say that a different way. There's a fundamental change in how you're relating to the masculine energy in your life. And that's one of these transformations that is going on, the one that you get to decide how far you take it. You're getting to decide how far you take it. Look, there is a lot of full moon energy in this reading too. We've got this big full moon that she's connected to. We've got there it is, this big full moon that's part of the crown. We haven't even gotten to the fates yet, but I'm gonna go ahead. Which is, you know, as I said, which is the fates is the Wheel of Fortune card. That's just a different name in this deck. The snow moon, you know, each full moon has a name, and the full moon that was just a few days ago is called the snow moon. And there's obviously, well, I don't know, hold on, I don't know what the full moon in, I don't know what the full moon in March is called. I forget, so give me a second, I'm just gonna look. Okay, it's so interesting. So there's several names for the full moon, and the one that has the biggest, the March full moon, the one that has the biggest presence on the internet it's called the worm moon, because, you know, there's like larvae and worms and things emerging out in March. But, you know, where I'm from, where I grew up, it was way too cold. It was cold in March. But where I grew up, there's another name for it, and it was called the sugar moon, because that's when you would tap the maple trees for maple syrup. So it's your choice, and you can also look up, there's a bunch of other names for each full moon, and so you could even look it up and see if there's one that resonates with you more. But I'm going to call it the sugar moon, because that is more where that's more speaking to where I grew up, where it's the time to tap the maple trees. So, I was talking about the moon. So we have this sugar moon coming up in March, and it's just a sweet time for you. It is a sweet, sweet month. March is going to bring a lot of sweetness to you, pile number 2. And do you see that she's just so carefree, and she's so light on this wire that the birds are still sitting on it. You know how flighty, pun intended, birds are, right? Birds are so flighty that you get anywhere near them and they fly away. And obviously, if she weren't so light on her feet, the birds would have already flown away, but they're sitting there. She's so part of her environment. She's so happy, and she's so light, and she's so effortless that everything is magical to her in this moment. And so are you. She's up there. Everyone else is asleep. She's the only one awake. She's connected to the moon in this fundamental way. I'm wondering if during the full moon there's going to be something that you're doing, like in the time of the full moon might be the time in the month where really great things happen to you in your 3D, basically. So we're still talking about the devil. I keep on getting, you got a lot of awesome stuff here. So this devil card is sensual pleasures. So I'm telling you, pile number 3, you are having one of the most complex and like intriguing and stunning love readings within this transformation. The biggest story here is your transformation, but within it is this love. If this is, you know, if you want a relationship with a man, obviously it's a love relationship. If not, then you're gonna have friends or family or whatever it is. It could be family because we have this card, but of course a love relationship is part of a family, so it's either way. But you have a really strong love undercurrent here. And if you did notice, we have her with her crown and him with his crown. So we have a little pairing, and they did come out one right after the other. So yeah, I mean, the King of Pentacles is the provider energy, is the abundance energy, and it does not necessarily have to come from another person. If this is something that you've really been working toward, abundance, stability, you know, that sort of energy, it could be your card. It could be your card, and these 3 cards are separate. Because again, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you, but it really is very much talking about the same thing as something being presented to you, something being offered to you because of your fundamental change, and something being very pleasurable and very wonderful in your life in March. Wonderful, a wonderful thing happening to you. Pile number 2. So this table, really this table is very, very much part of this nest and King of Pentacles energy to me. So the table is more of a gathering together of people. Remember this Morning Dew girl, she thinks of herself as the girl, the dew girl that has to go out and gather the dew alone. As soon as she predominantly thinks of herself as the dew girl who gets to go out with her friends, and they all do it together, and they're happy and laughing and chatting as they do it together, then that happens for her. She fundamentally changes herself. She goes through her transformation, and her 3D changes. So I've touched on this fates, and there's, you know, this full moon thing, and I'm not a person saying like the full moon brings us magic. I'm saying that something good, so, you know, I'm talking about more about timing, and that the sugar moon is really a sweet idea, and the sugar moon is really a sweet story, and something sweet is going to happen to you, but it's not because of the moon. It is because of you. Pile number 2. And of course, this is the Wheel of Fortune. And what is the Wheel of Fortune symbolizing for a conscious creator? It's symbolizing the fact that you can change your fate. Your fate, I'm gonna do the air quotes here. Your fate is nothing more than your assumptions. Her assumptions ruled her fate. And so once she changes her assumptions, her fate changes. It's as easy and as difficult as that. So we have this Chariot. We have this Chariot, and we have a... Oh, wow, I just got another thought about December, so I gotta say it first, okay. All right, so I know why this December card came out for most of you. For some of you, you might already have, like, say, oh, I know why. But for most of you, listen to this. There has been, and it came out right next to the man energy, right next to the masculine energy, right? So what does this mean? This means that you have had a stagnant time in the masculine energy arena, whether it's a relationship. For most of you, it's your relationships with a specific man, or men in general. Some of you, it could be something else, but there's been a huge stagnation, a dormant period, and now with this sugar moon, where things are where's the other one? Now with this sugar moon thing coming up in March, why can you tap the maples for sap in March? It's because things are quickening, things are warming up, things are happening. The sap is rising in the tree, and we go siphon off some of it for maple syrup to make maple syrup. But the stagnant period in this part of your life is now over. That's what this means. Pile number 2. All right. Now I know why we had this December. And also that I want to just expand a little bit more. I'm really into this. There's a lot of messages in your masculine energy cards here. Sensual pleasures, abundance, these two, the younger man and the fair man, which could be the same person, coming together and being emotionally stable, finding someone who's emotionally secure and stable and also a loving, stable coming together. No drama, no craziness, just stability and great times. So we have this Chariot, which is funny because look she has 2 crescent moons here. Oh, there's one here. Well, no, I think that's part of this fabric of time and space here that's in the back, morphing. This Chariot is your intention moving things forward in a very deliberate way. You, pile number 2, choosing where things go. So there's something that I know that I've done in the past, and I know that probably many of us have done in the past, which is, if you are alone in your room, concentrating on what you want, it's easy to say, I want X. But if you go out in the world and you are offered Y, which is like, it's close to X, it's got a lot of what X has, but Y, you're offered Y, you might be like, oh, that's all I'm going to get. And you just take the Y and you're like, oh, I guess I'll be happy with Y. But you really still want X. Even if you are offered Y and you're like, well, I can enjoy Y for now, but I still want X, and still continue to manifest for X, you will get X. It will then be offered to you. I know that you understand what I'm saying because it's such an important point. Once things start showing up for you in the 3D, if they're not perfect, if they're not exactly what you want, you can still continue to manifest consciously manifest for what you exactly want while you're enjoying the imperfect part that came to you. There's nothing wrong with enjoying what's coming to you, even if it's not what you exactly want. There's nothing wrong with it. So that's where this Four of Cups comes in. You don't have to ignore or not enjoy the imperfect offerings that come to you. You can enjoy them if you want. And you know what's funny is it came right underneath the Devil, which is this sensual pleasure kind of thing. You can enjoy things that aren't exactly what you want while you're still manifesting for what exactly you want. There's zero wrong with that. There's only good things. If you want it, if you want to do that, that's great. If you want to say, meh, no thanks, and go away and just continue manifesting what you exactly want, that's okay too. There's no right or wrong except what you decide. Her brain is outside of her head. She can at any point put it back in her head and go off and enjoy what she already has manifested. See, I'm interpreting this as she wants all 4 cups filled. She's offered 1 cup, and she can decide whether she can go and enjoy the 1 cup while she's manifesting the rest of the 3 cups filled with whatever this is. Or she can say, no thanks, and then continue to manifest consciously while not engaging with the 1 filled cup and wait for the 4 filled cups. But that is your choice. You can enjoy exactly what is offered to you and know that and still know that it's temporary. You can engage with the 3D while knowing it's temporary, and you can enjoy the 3D while knowing it's temporary. And again, I know I didn't touch too much on this flower spirit, I just want to say, but remember what I was saying at the beginning, she has way more power than is even apparent, and that's you. You have way more power than is apparent, as we've seen with this 5 of Wands, the Death card, the Fates, that's you, the Chariot, even the 4 of Cups. You have this power, and it's culminating in this Ace of Swords, because in March, you have such a transformational March power number 2. That is such a funny slip of the tongue, because it's really so true. You are power number 2, not just pile number 2. And March is your power month. This transformation that starts with the 5 of Wands goes through the Death card, your beautiful transformation, and you are in the Fates and the Chariot. You are on your way. You've already taken the first several steps on this new path that you have consciously manifested, and you have all of the accoutrement that you need. You got your umbrella, you've got your sword, you've got your little crow companions, and you're able to walk on water. You have your is that water, or is that the desert? I think it's the water. Isn't it the water? It's the water. You are completely pile number 2. Pile number 2. You're completely transformed. You are the new you. You have decided you're the do girl that gets to do all of the gathering with your friends. You are the woman that gets to walk on this wire in the moonlight and enjoy everything that no one else gets to enjoy. You're the special one. You are the one that gets to do this. You're the transformed one. You're the one who gets this beautiful masculine energy coming for you. You're the one who decides your fate. You're the one who gets this new version of yourself through your work. And, hard work ahead. Maybe that means this is the last push. Maybe that means that. I'm really more interested in the stability and the coming together part of this table card. But pile number 2, this is such an amazing, amazing reading. There's so much power in here. There's so much power in you. And you are awesome. And I am giving you a round of applause because you have you're killing it, pile number 2. You are so awesome. So this is your reading for March. I know you enjoyed it because it's so amazing. It is so amazing, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. I love all of your comments, your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions to my you're subscribing to my channel. It's always so wonderful to see more people coming on and subscribing to the channel each week. It's so wonderful to do these readings for you, and I really enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here, and I know I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. I'm so excited to do this for you. We are looking at your March, your month ahead, March. You picked this deck in this stunningly gorgeous red carnelian heart that just seems to glow. It's just so interesting. The crystals are interesting. I've always loved rocks and crystals and things like that since I was a child. I've always loved them. They're just so beautiful. So I'm going to put your main deck aside for a moment, and we are going to pick a couple oracle cards from a couple decks. So this is the first oracle deck. So let's ask it. Let us get some oracle cards for you. We need some oracle cards for March for pile number 3. Here's this one. All right, there's that. And then we have 2 stacks of tea leaves. So let's shuffle them up. Oh, I think that this wanted to be seen by you. Bird flying. News is on the way. You might be getting an Amazon package. Oh, gosh. Oh, looks like these 2. There's that. And then let's take 1 or 2 from this one. Again, I feel like this one wants to be seen as well. Well, I guess this one. All right. Bird flying, news is on the way. Oops. I meant to do these first. It doesn't really matter, but I pulled these first. So we're going to do these first. So this is your first one. Queen Bee. How cute. I love this one. I have this image of her with like long grasshopper legs. You know, grasshopper legs are so long. And this is card 11. Let's see what else we have. This is card number 30, White Rose of Hope. How beautiful. It's like the moon. The moon in the form of a rose. And then we have this card. Ooh, Morning Dew Girl. This came out in pile number 2. This is card number 13. Pile number 2 had an amazing reading. So if you had an interest in it, maybe you want to check it out. So we have this card, Bird Flying, News is on the way. We have Spear, Heartache over what you no longer have. We have Happiness. How interesting that it came right after the Spear. Isn't that so funny? There's a transition here. And again, this transition, a major transition, that was a big theme in pile number 2. So this Lobster, Financial Pinch. Lobsters are very cute. They're cute and I like them as animals. What is your last one? I'm so curious. Money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. How interesting. Pile number 3. The reason I'm saying pile number 2 had the same thing of like major transformation. So what came after heartache is happiness. What came after financial pinch is a path with money. So we're seeing here immediate change. Like this looks like your present circumstance, and this looks like your very near future circumstance. How interesting how that happened. And I just had this feeling that the bottom card needed to come out, and then this came out. How interesting. Wow, we're already such an interesting reading already. Pile number 3. Let's wake up this deck, and we're going to ask it for several cards for us, for you, for your March. We've got this one. We've got this one. And let's shuffle one more. Looks like the top one wanted to come out. One more. We already got tons of cards. Let's see. We'll put it up here. We might want some more. We never know. All right. What do we have here? The King of Swords. Her letters are being magically transformed into birds, and they are going to this figure in the background. Her messages are being sent to him immediately. And look at where this is ending up. I'm going to put this over here. Look at where they're ending up here. I'm sorry, look at where this is ending up. News is on the way. Bird flying. How interesting. You are getting so much synchronicity in your reading already. And look how few cards we have. You're already getting so many really strong double messages and transformation messages. The 8 of Swords. This is stuck energy. Again, this is stuck energy, just like the spear and the lobster. What do we have here? The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. How interesting. These two are interesting together. The 6 of Pentacles. How many cards do we have? Okay, so we have 4 more. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. So we have the King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles right above and below each other. Look how happy she is with her ice cream. We have the 7 of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. Very interesting. The Knight of Wands is the fastest knight in the deck, and it came up right above and below this one. And we have the 4 of Wands. So interesting. Your cards are so super interesting. And you know what? I don't like this image. And it came out last week. This card came out again right after it came out last week, and I just don't like the image. I'm going to turn it over for now, just so I don't have to look at it. Sorry, pile number 3. I just don't like it, but I will talk about it. I'll show it. I have it in my head. I know what it says. Look at this. I just wanted to point out her little barrette is raspberries. I just think that's the cutest thing ever, and I just wanted to show it to you. And you know what's funny is I was thinking about this card, I was thinking about this card because I don't like the image. And I was thinking about this card, and because it has just come up in a previous reading, I think last week, and I was just talking about this in both pile number 1 and pile number 2, that sometimes cards emerge, they're seen several times, and then they submerge back down. And this card, again, this card came up very recently, and it's coming up again, and I'm just disturbed. It disturbs me, and it has a message. Some of you need to see a message, and maybe you missed it last time, or maybe you just need again to see the same thing. So very interesting, and we just have a lot to unpack here. Your reading it is one of flipping, one of just totally different flipping over into something totally different. So this very innocuous back of this card goes to this card that I personally find disturbing, right? And what's it underneath? It is underneath this 8 of Swords, which is stuck energy. This stuck energy, and this card, the 7 of Wands, is really symbolizing a frame of mind where you feel like you have to defend your position, where you've got people coming after you. You have to, really strategize to stay on top, and it's really frenetic, and you're just really, there's a lot of forces that you have to take into consideration, and things might fall apart, and it's just a lot of being stuck in a place that you don't like, both physically and mentally and emotionally. Like, so your outer landscape and your inner landscape are places you do not like, okay? What is the cause of this? It's the 8 of Swords is such a good reminder for anybody who's a conscious manifester, or anyone in the world, is that it's your perception of being stuck that keeps you stuck. It's your perception that things will never change for you that makes things never change for you, if you understand what I mean. It's your perception that you cannot win that makes you not be able to win. It's your perception that no one loves you that makes people not love you. And it's so important that they came in this little line, because we have 4 distinct lines. We have 4 distinct messages for you, and they came in pairs, just like it's a kind of opposite from these pairings that's like heartache and happiness, financial pinch, and tons of money. These are actually all connected, like, so this is one cohesive message that I just told you. So what are the other 3 messages, pile number 3? We have this movement, this major forward movement combination. We have this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is the fastest knight in the deck. This is the knight that charges in to the fray. And the wands are intention. Wands, the suit of wands is, making your intentions manifest. You, pile number 3, you're going from being completely stuck in your perceptions ruling your world in a negative way to completely charging forward and your perceptions changing your world in a magical, wonderful way. So this is your march. Your march is you transforming everything about your perceptions and having major forward movement as a consequence of this. And pile number 3, your other Knight, is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is a wonderful Knight to have if you are manifesting love. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's new love. Doesn't matter if it's renewed love. Doesn't matter if it's like, you know, a stable, if you're in a stable relationship and you just want it to get better. It doesn't matter. It's a wonderful card. This Knight, just think of this Knight. For you, this Knight is charging up to you with their heart on their sleeve, and they're all for you, and they're doing it willingly and wonderfully just for you. I'm wondering if this stuck energy is about your money situation, because I'm going backwards. I'm wondering if this stuck energy is about your money situation, or this stuck energy is about your love relationship, or this stuck energy is about both. But it's a major factor. It's a major factor, and it's really significant that it came up right next to this double Knight pairing. It's not a double pairing. It's the double Knights, or the Knight pairing, because we see the change. We see the change. This change is coming within you, and it is generating now, or in the recent past, the stuck energy, and it's flipping over to charging forward great strides. This central 4 cards is giving us the exact message that these 2 sets of cards gave us as well. There's no, I keep on saying it, there's no like fluke to the fact that both came out, both pairings came out one right after the other. So we have this White Rose of Hope, which means that you know pile number 3. What is in there? There's like there's butterfly wings, I guess. I just don't know what this is. So you know that you are capable of it. This card is just showing you how capable you are of being that which you want to be. Pile number 3. I'm sorry, pile number 3. This is a very gorgeous card, I just have to say. And this is such a charming card. This is such a charming card, and you know what the bee is doing, which is so funny? She's the queen bee. So what do bees do? They seek out sweetness, and they seek it out. But what's the queen bee do? She just stays. She just is, of all the bees going around, buzzing around, being all busy, she is the one that stays in one place, and the bees come to her. That she stays in the hive, and all the other bees center around her. That's what you are channeling. You, pile number 3, are the queen bee. You're the one who the news is seeking out. It's like this, but I want to do the queen and the king last. But you see, this news is seeking out this figure. You get to be the one that everyone else seeks out. And how do you do it? You change your conception of yourself. So we have this other really interesting pairing. We have a 6 of Pentacles, and we have a 4 of Wands. And these 2 are exactly mirroring this. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, which is this abundance, a lot of abundance, so much abundance that you're able to share with others, that you're so abundant. You know how when people have a little bit of money and they're like, oh, which is not a bad thing. It's like if you have a little bit of money, you're not going to be like, oh, here, take some, then you don't have any anymore. But the Six of Pentacles is being so abundant that you are able to be generous with others and still have more than enough for yourself. And it's a difference. It's not a difference in attitude so much as it's really a difference of circumstances. It's not giving away money that you shouldn't, meaning it's not giving away money so that you're therefore put in a bad financial position yourself. It's being in such a good financial position that you can happily be generous with others because of just how abundant you are. So this Six of Pentacles is going with the financial pinch to path with money. Okay, so this is the only energy of, not the only, because there's, what am I saying? There's this Knight of Wands. This Knight of Wands might be what you're on the path to find this money. Look at you charging forward and finding this great path of, look, it looks like liquid gold with gold coins in it. It's probably a path, but this is the path she's charging onto, this beautiful golden path. And it's not a blind, it's not blindly charging forward, pile number 3. She knows exactly where she wants. She's directing the piggy to go right toward the money path. And that's what you're doing. And then, so this is really, as I said, this Six of Wands, Six of Pentacles is really aligned with the money path story of yours. And this Four of Wands is tied to the heartache morphing into happiness. And it's also tied to the Knight of Cups, which is the offer, the passion, the person, your love interest coming to you with the passion and the declaration and the just the overwhelming urge to let you know exactly what they want, what they love about you, what they care about, what they want with you. This is a very strong, expression theme throughout this entire thread. We get the abundance and we got the love. So what is this Four of Wands symbolizing? It's symbolizing just a wonderful time, a completion of something with a celebration. So this is such a funny artwork for this, but it doesn't really say what the Four of Wands is usually symbolizes. So what does this artwork say? It means that there has been and there is a very individual path you took to this celebration, that you did have to do things alone at certain points on your path that you did not want to do alone. And this theme, actually, this is why it's so funny, because I was like, why is this Morning Dew Girl here again? This was the theme in pile number 2, where she, she's symbolizing somebody, she's like, she has a conception of herself as someone who has to do this alone, who has to do this job alone. There's a whole bunch of Morning Dew Girls, and they're all on Discord, and they're all, they have a server on Discord, and they're all posting about their job, and they and she has a conception of herself as the morning dew girl who has to do this job alone. And because she has a conception of herself as this, everyone, that, it mirrors out into her 3D. Once she changes her conception of herself as the dew girl who always gathers the dew in a big friend group, and they all do it together and they all have fun, as soon as that becomes her dominant story of herself, then her life changes and she becomes the one that everyone wants to do the job with. She becomes the one that becomes sought after, and everybody messages her on Discord and asks her to gather dew with them. And she becomes the queen bee that everybody comes to. You are well on your way, pile number 3, and March is your month, obviously, to change. You become the queen bee, pile number 3. And so there have been some times where you had to tread this self-concept changing path alone where you wished you hadn't. But that's all changing because of this heavy transformation thread here we see in this. So we have the culmination of the storylines, the love and the abundance storylines here. We have the culmination of the abundance storyline, which is you have so much money that you're able to be generous with zero, zero fear that you are going to put yourself in a bad financial position. You have so much, you have more than enough. And this 4 of Wands is a beautiful celebration, maybe a party. Maybe you have this beautiful party that you go to and your love interest is there, and it's a magical night or something of that that nature where the heartache turns to happiness. And your March is so beautiful in that way. So now we come to this final pairing, and I've already touched on this King of Swords. This King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, which is so significant that the Queen of Pentacles came up for you. So this is you and your love, for most of you, this is your love interest, your SP, and this is you. That's what these are symbolizing here in this reading. And your love interest, your SP, is writing their heart out, writing their love intentions, turning into little paper birds, and they're coming to you, and the messages are coming, seeking you out. They are seeking you out. You are the one being sought out, and they are reflecting you. They're reflecting your conception of yourself, pile number 3. Why do I keep on calling you pile number 2? It's because the heavy transformation story was also in pile number 2. So since they're so similar, these messages, I really suggest, if you have any interest in also watching pile number 2, to watch it, because it's also very transformational. And then this pile number 3 is you, and the Queen of Pentacles. She's very abundant in both. She's just where she wants to be. She's everywhere she wants to be. She's very abundant. She has everything she wants, and she's also in the place that she wants to be. She's in the place she wants to be, and therefore that encompasses everything. That encompasses both the happiness in love and the abundance, the money abundance. And I just want to acknowledge that it really has been a lot of work for you. This is not an instant transformation that you enjoyed. this has been a path of sometimes very solitary and sometimes very painful self-reflection, and you have had to walk that alone. And as Neville Goddard says, there's no one to change but self, and because there's no one to change but self, we have to do this ourselves. We have to face and embrace ourselves. I just made that up, but I like face and embrace, because it rhymes. And you have done this. This is your month that things flip. Things flip. Financial pinch to financial freedom. Heartache to happiness. I don't know. This is just such a beautiful and amazing reading, pile number 3, and I'm so proud of you. This is your March is so beautiful. Your March is so wonderful. Your March is filled with transformation. Thank you so much for joining me. I love all of your comments, all of your shares, and your likes are very, they're just very wonderful to hear what you have to say and to see you watching and enjoying these videos. And I love seeing the subscriber count go up. It's so nice to see more and more people joining along for this journey, and I am happy that you watch, and I know I will see you very soon. Thank you. Bye for now.